Hi guys, Creative Lori here. Today I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I wanted to talk about this room that I redid in my house because my tenant moved out and I'm getting ready for a new tenant. So I wanted to show you how I redid this room without not spending a dime. The other, first and foremost, what I want to talk about is the cat trapping that I did the other night on Saturday night and how I had to release that one cat that did make it, what happened with her. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who had said some really nice things. There's two different Kims. Kim, I don't want to say their last names in case they don't want me to, but there's two Kims that had made very nice comments. One Kim for sure, she had mentioned that she had rescued a cat herself from a hospital helicopter hangar. Wow. And then she ended up keeping that cat for like 15 years. So that was amazing, guys. That's, thank you, Kim. You're awesome. The other Kim, thank you so much also for your kind words. And to Dana, you had said some kind words also. And thank you so much. And Pixie Poison. Sorry. I'm sorry. I get these names mixed up sometimes. Thank you everyone for caring. I know they're not easy videos to watch and to hear me talk about because it's not fun, but it's something that is a big part of my life. I volunteer a lot for the feral cats. I feed them every night at the cat colonies. I'm considered their caretaker, and I trap them, get them fixed. They get their shots. I tend to them for 2 or 3 days, and then I re-release them back to where we find them or where I find them, so that they know, their familiar stomping grounds. And that way they're not reproducing, so the cycle stops there with that cat because each cat can have up to 4 litters a year, and they can start as young as like 3 months old, I believe, which is insane. And I did catch one cat that was pregnant. She was so pregnant and she wouldn't have made it, so they had to get her fixed. And unfortunately, this made me so sad. They had to abort the babies, That's not something I really agree with, but oh gosh, she wouldn't have made it. My dad actually ended up taking her because she was such a cute little girl. We call her Little White Face. She's so cute because she had this tiny little white face and this big pregnant body, and she was so young. And then he has another cat named Bigfoot because it's like one of those large cats. I can't remember what they're called, but it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, it has these big, beautiful paws, so we call it Bigfoot. Anyways, so he's got a few kitties and I have a few kitties. They're all rescue cats. And I wanted to thank you everyone for your lovely comments and your support. And I know the video was not easy to hear because I was crying, I was sniffling, and I was really, in a conundrum of whether or not I should release the mother because the cat I caught had a litter of cats, and I didn't know that. We don't know that until they get caught and seen by the vet at the clinic, and it was lactating. So the vet and all the research I did said either release her again that night or the next morning. And so the further research I did, it said if she has a litter of cats, they cannot survive without the mother. You should release her within 24 hours of catching her, surgery, and recovery, which is insane to me. But all the articles said that. And she was really alert when I went to go pick her up at the clinic. When she was recovering in my garage, she was very alert. There was no bleeding in the cage. Sometimes there's a little bit of bleeding, but she didn't have any bleeding. She was a very young cat, probably 7 or 8 months old herself. And she was fine. She ate a little bit. She was probably more scared than anything. So, it's sometimes better to release the animals when they're so freaked out, and she was really scared. So I made the decision to go ahead and release her that night within the 24 hours. I did it at 11 o'clock at night, and I had a little worry there because when I released her, it took me a couple minutes. She didn't want to go out of the cage, and then she finally did, and it was fine. And then she got spooked, and she took off across the parking lot and then across the street, and there was a car coming. I mean, it was the most horrible scenario. But she looked back, and then she kept on running. And so I kind of looked for her, and I saw her on the other side of this creek. And so I went back to where I had originally released her because her little buddies were there. And I saw these kittens, guys. They were 2 kittens that I saw, and they were older. They were probably 6 weeks old. So if they're under 4 weeks old, the kittens would have died. They need their mother on an hourly basis, basically. But anything over 4 weeks old, they are then weaned from their mother usually, and she pushes them, to go get solid food. So I felt so good because I was so worried. So then I was really more worried for her. So I parked my car, and I saw her running back over. Not running, it was more like just walking. And they're really not supposed to run or jump or anything after the surgery, but it had been at least 12 hours since the surgery still. They do heal really quickly. It's amazing, these animals. But still, it's a fresh incision. So she comes over, and she's just watching me. She's watching me. I'm at the Target loading dock, and parked a little further away. She's over at another semi-truck, like their loading trucks, that they have there. She's sitting underneath it, just watching me. Doesn't take her eyes off me, like she knows who I am. And I thought, So I sat there about 10 minutes and nothing. So then what I ended up doing was I went and got some kibble out of my trunk, and I put it near her, and she kind of, ducked into the bushes, but then she came back out. So I left. I felt comfortable at that moment, and I felt good for her kittens, knowing they were still alive and they were older, thank God. And she, oh, look at that swarm of birds. You probably can't see it. And she seemed fine, very okay. I went back there the next day. I didn't see her in the morning, but in the evening I did, and she was fine. So thank you, guys. I was really concerned for her. I really just felt like one or the other were not going to make it, like her or the kittens. And that's sometimes what happens when you do rescue. You just don't know how it's going to turn out, But thank you all for your kind words and your support. I really appreciate it, and I wanted to give you that last update on her. And if I continue seeing her, I'll mention her in my videos. But what I wanted to do is to show you this room. It's a room that one of my tenants that lived here for almost 2 years, he moved out and he went back to his home state, and he got a different job offer. So I had to redo this room, and he moved out middle of December, but no one really rents in right before the holidays. So I had some time to clean it and, get it done. Especially because I was still working up until 5 days before Christmas, and, it's just a busy time for everybody with the holidays and family. So let me go through and show you what I have done. There's a couple of things that I have to do still. I have to bring a rug in, and I have to do some touch-up paint. I think I have to paint this whole wall because there's just too much touch-up areas that you will see the color difference, when you try to touch it up. So like over here as well. So my whole point was not to spend any money because I have so much tied up right now, and I have a job coming up later on this week, and I'm going to have to spend some money on that because a lot of my major pieces are tied up in the model homes and in just regular houses. So I didn't want to spend additional money. So he had basically ruined excuse me, the sheets and the comforter set that I had provided for him, because I always provide like new linens and everything and pillows. And I don't know, I guess maybe he didn't wash them enough. I don't know. But I asked him to, just to buy a replacement set. I told him you can go to Ross and get, a cheaper set. It's fine. I said, just get some neutral colors, and don't get too cheap of a set, to where it's rough or whatever. So I gave him some instruction of like colors, beige or grays, neutrals, no major design, a certain amount of thread count for the sheets. And so he did, and he came back and he did a good job. I was fine with it. These are the sheets. I don't know if you can really see the color. It's like a really light gray. And then the comforter is reversible. So it has this on one side and then this pattern on the other. I still need to steam this comforter because it has a lot of wrinkles from being in the packaging. Us stagers, we live by our steamer. But this set came with 2 pillow shams and these 2 pillows here, the light gray and the darker gray. So I'm gonna have to steam this pillow also. It's kind of wrinkled there. These teal ones, I believe I got free from, there's 2 of them, from a home stager. I bought a bunch of stuff from her, and then some free things came with the whole lot that I bought. But anyways, back to this. I just paired it with like this material for now. It's just a chevron material, and I just leftover material that I had, and it kind of is reversible as far as colors go. And it's just fabric, but it's a really nice fleece fabric. And I just put it there for color wise. It really does work as a throw. It has like a nice edge. It's one of those materials that you can cut, but it doesn't unravel. So I might just leave it. And I also provide them with like, new pillows and a nice fleece heavy blanket and a room, what is it called? Space heater, like a little one. Because this room does get a little bit cold. It's over the garage, and there's an attic crawl space over here. I have 2 of them, and that's the second one. So it is an eyesore, but it does make the room a little bit chillier, and that's why I like to rent this to men, because men don't seem to get as cold as us women. But everyone seems to like this room because it overlooks the neighborhood, and it's just, they can see their car, and not that they have to watch it or anything, but it's just a nice thing to be able to do, to look outside and look at your car or whatever if you hear a noise or something. But I had 2 dressers left, and this one was the better of the 2. I felt like this is an antique buffet that I use as a dresser, and I like the colors with it. I'm kind of going for more of the restoration hardware-ish look in this room because I have that headboard. It's really hard to go with to make something like bedding look like that. So I'm just leaving this. It's fine. This is not normally what I would do in my home staging business, but I don't want to spend additional money because I have spent so much all through December, like my stockpiling and everything, and some, additional purchases I had to make for my home staging business. So I wanted to be careful. And honestly, guys, if you're thinking of renting rooms to, people, it's really important to do background checks, because they are sharing a space with you in your own home, and you don't know what their background is. I don't so much care about their credit score because they obviously are renting a room for a reason. Sometimes it's from a divorce, or they have bad credit and they're starting over, or they moved from like another state to find a better opportunity here in California. So that part doesn't bother me. It's more so like for my own safety because they are living here with me. But this dresser, it was fine, and then it got ruined by another tenant. She was a travel nurse and just careless. There's like these ring stains all over. I mean, it's just terrible. And I've had this thing for like 25 years and no problem. But it like all these scratches got on it. So I tried polishing it and it doesn't work. So I have this tongue oil that has like a stain in it. So I'm going to use that and see if that, works. But it kind of adds to the rustic element. So I'm actually okay with it. So I paired it with this little old fan, and I got it off of Craigslist, I believe, for $10, maybe $15. And it still has like the little old cord to it and everything. As you can see, I wouldn't dare use it. It's really like broken up, but super cool. This is an old camera that my parents had, one of a few. I will not leave this in here. I'm just using this as decor, because if you don't want something to get ruined in your home, like when you're renting a room out, you need to take it out of the room. And I'm not willing to lose that. It's one of my parents' piece. So this Underwood typewriter, I've been looking for one for a long time, and I found it a few years ago at this Lake Tahoe flea market. I went up there one year to buy a bunch of decor and antiques. And if you live in California or Nevada, close to the area, it's something to check out because they had some really great decor pieces. And I would not have thought that until I went one time. And so the next time I was up there, I took a bunch of money to buy stuff. So these run anywhere from like $50 to $150 depending on the condition. He was asking $20. I had spent all my money. I saw it at the very end and I said, "Hey, I only have 17 left. Would you take 17?" And he goes, "Sure." So I was like, "Oh my gosh," I was so excited. But it's like missing, let's see, I think it's missing some kind of a knob on this end, or maybe not. Maybe that's just the slide, part of the slide. I'm not sure. But it was really dusty and I didn't care. It added to the charm of it. Yeah, I just love it. I love it. So I put a little jar with pencils in it, and then over the dresser I put this artwork that I think I got from Ross. It was on sale for like $20 or something, and it's galvanized metal. I don't know if you could see that. And it's black painting, and it's the Brooklyn Bridge, which I thought was really cool and added to the charm of this area. And so then over here, I mean, this is just an eyesore anyways with the attic door. So I just chose this darker wood. It's like a luggage rack nightstand. And it has like the metal legs. It's tall though, so it's not a luggage rack. And it's got the mirror insert and some little handles. And I got that for free, along with this little picture here. This picture frame is, I think, it might be a castle. It almost looks like this little area in Cinque Terre in Italy, but I'm not sure. It didn't say. It's like a vintage photo. And I got these items for free when I bought that whole lot. When I bought out that stager, she was giving up staging and moving on. So a lot of things just came free with what I bought. I got this lamp at Goodwill. It is either from, I thought it was from West Elm originally, but I think it was from Anthropology, but the tag came off the bottom. But I think I recognized it from one of their catalogs. I got it for $4, and it's this really cool faux log lamp. And I just put like a linen burlappy, I know you can't see because of the glare, but it's linen burlap blend shade with a brown finial up there, light brown, medium brown. Okay, so that's their little nightstand. I couldn't do a second nightstand over here because of this big chair. Oh, I'm seeing some more marks on that wall over there. So I think I have to do that wall too. So whenever I have to touch up a wall, I do the whole wall. I cut it off at a corner so you don't see the color change, you know. And I take it all the way across to each corner. And here's another part that I have to do, as you can see. I don't know what he did to do that, but I have to patch it up and paint it. This chair. I always offer to put a different chair in here, like a different club chair. It's a leather one. It's an older one. It got ruined by like 3 tenants ago. She was kind of crazy, this lady. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad it's over. But she like scratched all of it, punctured hole. I mean, it's like all over on this arm and then on the seat. I don't know what she did, but I just cover it with a throw and put a pillow there. And I always offer to put a different chair in here, but everyone likes that chair because it's so comfortable and big. So I've always left it in here. So then so that's one of the free pillows. That throw is from IKEA. It's really a soft chenille. I love it. That is, you guys saw this little bucket tin basket from my Christmas videos. It says London, Paris, New York, and has like little jute rope handles. I put some local like magazines in there. So this is like their little reading nook area. And then I put this painting above here. Sorry it's so dark in here, guys. It's just a gloomy day. I might add like another lamp in this corner. So it is browns and metallics, and it's like a oak tree on a foggy lake, it looks like. I got that on clearance. Clearance at Ross. I couldn't believe it. Super good price. Now let's go back to this headboard. In staging, we need a ton of headboards, nightstands, bedding. So I got this little nightstand or headboard. It was a coffee table, and I got it off of Craigslist. It was $5. The guy made it himself. It's hardwood, and it's really beautiful wood, actually. It polishes up really nicely. So it was $5. I took the legs off of the back, or off, took them off, and they had these like little square metal brackets that you could screw the legs on or screw a screw in, which my dad put the legs on it. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. So those are the legs. They're just some 2x4s. And we gel stained them to match the color of the headboard, which was perfect. It's just a mahogany gel stain. I did not wipe the majority of the color off, though. I left it thick and left it on so that it would be as dark as the headboard. So it was a perfect match. $5. So I'll show you guys some tutorials on some headboards that I do, because I have to make them all the time, and I can't afford to buy these expensive ones anymore. And if I do have to buy those ones, those go into my model homes. So that's pretty much this whole area. It was a no spend for me. I already had the material as a throw. The teal pillows were free. The headboard I had years ago, like 10 years ago, I got that. And it goes nicely, matches with the dresser. And the bedding, I had the tenant buy it before he left. So all of this stuff I already had. Like I said, I don't make these rooms extraordinarily gorgeous and how I would normally stage a room, because they do destroy things, tenants. They might be the nicest people in the world, but they could be messy or they could be careless, and people tend not to take care of things that are not their own sometimes. And sometimes they don't even take care of their own things. So if you guys are thinking of doing this, don't put a lot of money into it, because they're going to ruin things and you'll be upset. So if you have a dresser in the garage, then use that. Clean it and paint it or whatever. All right, let's go back out here. I want to show you. I just have some clear or see-through light gray shears that I think I got from Ross. Yeah. And They were cheap, I remember, but I liked it in this room to give it like a lighter aspect because I always tend to do taupe and brown and grays in this room. But when you look outside, this is the one room that has like a little bit of a view of the natural water preserve across the street. So it's between these two houses that you can see. Right through there is a natural water hole that they made for, you know, waterfowl and like Canadian geese. We have them migrate here all the time, but they actually end up staying most of the year because it's so mild here as far as winters go. So this room and the room next door have a view of that, or semi-view, I should say. But if you go down to the end of the block, you have access to walk to it. And there's all these waterways all around this area. So it's kind of a cool little area. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about this little end here. It's not my favorite, but it'll work. I just don't want to spend the money. So, and honestly, I found that men really don't care as much as women would if something is not perfect, you know. I mean, I'm offering them a furnished room with new linens and a newer mattress. Like I tend to buy new mattresses every 3 years, and or I use the ones that are from my staging business. Men, I tell them that they could care less. You know, women are like, oh, okay, so when was the last time it was used? You know, but what I do with my mattresses, by the way, I do put a foam topper. Because they're brand new mattresses, foam topper on top of that, but they are luxury mattresses that I get from like a wholesaler. And then I do the foam topper. I do a mattress cover that I usually get from either Walmart or Ross. And sometimes I have them buy new ones if they're just grimy or something, if they don't wash their sheets very much. But I happen to have like a new one, so I didn't make him buy one this time. And then, you know, they're always going to have like new linens, and there's nothing gross about it. So usually when I tell the men that, they're fine, and women are like, well, when was the last time it was used? Some women care, some don't. It's probably just a question I would have asked too, but okay, so I have this little IKEA desk here. It looks like I used it as a console table at one point in staging and a desk. It's just a cute little just desk, and it had a drawer that went from here and over. I need to put that back on. I got this little ottoman stool. It's a faux leather, dark espresso like the chair, except the chair is leather. So they can pull that over to the chair if they want to sit on it and prop up their feet, or they can use it as a little tuck away stool to sit at the desk. And they can put that decor down or out of the room, whatever. But I have a little TV here propped up on some books. They're my old accounting books. I just can't throw them away. And I just covered them with craft paper. The antenna is back there. We get a lot of local channels, and everyone usually has like Roku or a gaming system that they can watch, you know, Netflix or whatever. So I no longer have cable. My dad found this cool little mahogany colored wood luggage, and I think that's faux leather. Yeah. And he got that at Goodwill not too long ago, about a week and a half ago, for $4, because it was originally $6, and he asked if they could take off some money because it had a little damage here and down here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, right here. Yeah, right there. So he got that for $4, and I felt like it just added kind of to that look in here with the dresser. And then there's another Eiffel Tower. I have a larger one that you guys saw in my Christmas decor. And that mirror. And that mirror is just from Ross. And it's like a beveled mirror. And then it has like brown and metallics in it. And it kind of brightens up the room. Bounces the light off. And then these shelves are just from IKEA. I want to replace them with wood, but everyone seems to love these. They're easy to clean. They were cheap from IKEA. They can put their stuff on it. For right now, I just put a little picture of the Empire State Building that I got from Goodwill, and it was $319. This I did recently get, I don't know, like a week or so ago. You guys saw my latest haul, and it was 69 cents, and I like that it looks kind of like leather, woven leather, so they can put like their keys and whatnot in there, catch all, you know. And then that one, it was also free from the stager. I think it's the capital of California when it was San Francisco. Because look at that little streetcar. I'm not sure, but it kind of looks like that. So anyways, that was free. But most of the time when someone moves in here, they maybe take down a few of like the decor pieces, like that might come out or that, so they can put their own things up, which is fine. And then I'll show you the closet. I still have my staging stuff in here because when the other guy, Brett, moved out, I kind of moved in to store some of my additional staging, like nightstands. I was trying those nightstands to see if they worked, and that's an extra headboard from a cottage that I did a long time ago. Some paintings, where the bedding came in, and some baskets and stuff. Painting. I need to take this down, but for right now, I'm just keeping it in there until someone does move in. So that is that. I know this is a long video, guys, but I just wanted to show you and tell you where I got everything to get some ideas. And if you're thinking of renting your rooms out, like I said, always have a contract and do a background check. And also, I found that with a couple of roommates throughout the years, because I have been doing this for a long time, for many years, that sometimes you're going to get a problem child and you need to have protection. Like I have that legal service where you pay every month. And in case you have a question on, you know, like your business, and this is considered one of my businesses, other than staging. So I have to, you know, I pay like, I think $30 a month for the whole, I can ask as many questions as I want, and they are so helpful. And I keep it because sometimes I do have issues with tenants or what I can and can't do. So if I want to raise the rent, you know, maybe after 2 years or something, I ask like, how much can I raise it? Those kinds of questions. Or what are my rights in California as far as like if I want to evict somebody, how do I do it? So they are there for you for all those types of questions. I would suggest getting that service if you are thinking of renting your rooms out, because whenever someone moves in, they have their best foot forward, but sometimes their ugly head may rear and you have issues. So protect yourselves, guys. Anyways, I hope you guys liked the room. It's just, you know, a simple room. I had to use whatever I had, and I did not want to spend any more money. But also, this room, you know, I keep it simple too, because tenants, like I said, don't really take care of things often. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed finding out the update of that one kitty, the mama cat that I